We're starting this. This is a late night creep. Boy, I got some shit to say right now. This morning I was thinking about something my cousin said to me a long time ago. We were on the bus. We was going to this house party. And he was talking about how he liked South Park. And so I was saying, stuff about South Park. And then he was asking me like, he knew I liked the Boondocks. And so I was like, yeah, I like the Boondocks. He was like, why you like the Boondocks? I mean, he was saying something. And I was like, how come you don't like it? He was like, he feels like they're airing out like the black community's dirty laundry. So I was kind of looking at him like, what? And I remember back when that show aired, I would say I can't speak largely for the black community, but I would say a good chunk of us feel like there was two great shows that came around in the 2000 era. That was the Boondocks and the Chappelle Show. And I used to watch both of those religiously. And then it was like I said, my cousin said what he said. I was just kind of like, I just kind of felt like, what? Are you serious, dude? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I'm talking about. And he likes comic books. I mean, he likes these superheroes religiously. I mean, he's one of the old school like comic book heads. And I'm sitting up here like, that goes to show you for the last few videos I've been making, it plays into what I'm saying. Like you will have, you know what I'm saying? You will have like black people that will like these comic books or like these white led shows, and then be talking about like I don't like the Boondocks or something for some odd reason. And for me, it was just like seeing two black boys on the show. And even though it was talking about certain things in the black community, but the shit was funny, it made sense, and it was a good show. And it was just like I was watching this video earlier today of this Hispanic guy, and he's talking about these superheroes, and he was basically saying how he liked this one dude. I don't like the superhero he was referring to. I don't like who he was talking about and his favorite superhero. But as he was talking, now he's a Hispanic guy, and he was saying like, oh, he likes um, he wears a black suit, and he's basically 007 in Dick Tracy. So if anybody could piece that together, you know who I'm talking about. So anyway, he was now this Hispanic looking dude was talking about how that's his favorite superhero and everything, and I'm like, see, that goes in my point. Now, if somebody like I said, me making like I got Blitz, he's basically Mexican, you know, Hispanic Mexican. I'm not saying they're the same, but just hear see where I'm going with this. Now I could show him Blitz, and the only thing he would say is probably like, "Oh, that's cool," but then he will refer back to a superhero that don't look like him, or whatever the case is. You see what I'm saying? Like my own cousin wouldn't even prop up my own stuff. Like he would think it's cool that I would make it, but his love for the white superheroes wouldn't change. And it's just like, see, that's my point. That's basically my point in the last few videos. And then seeing like the video he was this Hispanic guy was talking about, I mean just the joy, just the adulation that he had for these comic book characters was just kind of like, dude, it's just somewhat off-putting to me. But it's like, who else could he like? You know what I'm saying? It's not like they make like a superhero that's any of ethnicity that's worth talking about, or that people would actually dig. It's just like whatever. So they're like, they have to revert to these white superheroes. And then it was like I said, like it was this dude, and um he made this video about why black people are physically superior than other groups of people. You know, because he was talking about the athleticism, like running, um, like he was talking about, you know, just even with the runners, like the fastest runners, he was talking about the ones that was coming from Africa. And then I brought up Jesse Owens, and then I couldn't figure out her name. I couldn't think of her name off the bat, but Jackie Joyner Kersey, you like all these athletes that are fast and strong. But then when you got these like comic books drawn and written by white dudes, they're obviously going to try to put them in it, or people that look like them. But in real life, you look at the fastest runners or the strongest people, the majority of them are black. They're not white. So it's just like I said in multiple videos. That's why I stopped subscribing to the whole comic book thing a long time ago, and just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just make my own shit. And then when you see like people on the streets, that's like, there was a study a long time ago, and they were saying how black civilians save people more than other groups of people. It was something like that. This was like some years ago. And I'm like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, remember those three girls, those three women that was kidnapped, and they was in this dude's house for like 10 years. It was like Michelle Knight and like the other two girls. I think that was one of their names. The black dude saved them. And then it was like some black guy, I think he ran into this burning building, or he caught some kid like falling out of a building. It was something. And then it was this other black dude, like in Paris, he climbed this building to save some kid. You see what I'm saying? But it'd be like, you know what I'm saying? You got these nerdy looking white dudes making these comic book characters, trying to live vicariously through them. And it's like, and when you constantly keep seeing that, it reinforces the whole notion of white supremacy. And it's like, no, bro. Like I said, kudos to Todd McFarlane for actually stepping outside the box. But then when you hear his story, how he made Spawn was kind of like it was just kind of like he had to basically hide who he is, so white people could basically buy into him before seeing his face. And then he was saying like he was at a convention one time, and some dude stepped to him, and it was like, oh, I didn't know Spawn was black, but I liked him. Like they had to like who the person was first before seeing their face. It was almost like going back to Dave Chappelle when it was like Clayton Bigsby, and he was like, come on, let the hate out. And then he revealed who he was, and then their heads exploded. It's like stuff like that. Like we couldn't see his face. We have to buy into the message first. And it's just bullshit, man. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's just hearing like people like talk about, oh yeah, like isn't it cool that this dude could just burst the universe apart and put it together because he got like metaphysical like powers and all this bullshit. And just acting like I don't know, like they sucking the dick of the superhero or something. Like, get off of your knees, bro. I mean, just talking about like, oh, he got mind manipulation and he can warp reality in space, bro. And he put this dude in the box and then he dismantled him and recreated him into like teddy bear. And it's and it's like all these superheroes damn near got the same powers. Like, and it's like the story goes nowhere in these comic book shits. It's like it's a dick measuring contest. They all got super durability. They all could fly damn near. They could like manipulate time and space, multiverse, omnipresent. It's like bullshit. It's just like even in my stuff, I ended up making fun of that because they all got the shit, and it's just like, okay, bro, but how could you ever kill a dude like on some real shit? Like if you look at these super villains and these like mega level mutants or whatever, like how could the normal dude in one of these comic books ever beat somebody like that? Like it has to, it's like you wrote yourself in a corner, like everybody's eternal, everybody's immortal, or they could die, come back even stronger, or they could die and come back where they won't die by the thing they died by. Like if somebody stabbed them in the chest and they came back to life, if they got stabbed in the chest again, that wouldn't kill them. They got to find another way to kill them. Like you got all these dudes that can do that shit. It's like, okay, what's the point of the story? And like I said, it's just a dick measuring contest. Like, oh, let me turn this dude into a solid gold telephone because I can warp reality in space. And then some other dude, like, okay, how come you ain't turning everybody into a solid gold microphone? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're the only dude though. Like if some bad guy had the power, like he would turn all his opponents into solid gold microphones and be done. There would be no story after that. But it's like, oh, conveniently, I didn't turn this dude into a solid gold microphone, and I'm fighting to death because I don't like humanity. So why are you saving humanity? Or because people got a right to live, and they fight each other, and they be like, I guess we could agree to disagree. And it's like, what? So it's like the stories are stupid. The shit don't make sense. It's all over the place where they gotta create a reason why they have to reboot this shit. Like, oh, I did something in this timeline to weave that timeline into this one, so that will fix what we fucked up like 20, 30 years ago in real life. Like with the writers, because there was so many writers, too many chefs in the kitchen. So let me go back in time to fix what this nutsack did in 1995 to make sense now. So I got this character, I'm omnipresent, and I see you in the future, but I can only see you, but I can't see the real future because it's dark and all this other stupid bullshit. I'm like, bro. Like hearing, and then how the dude was saying, like talking about it. I mean, he's just so geeked up about it. Like, dude, this shit sounds dumb. It just sounds dumb, dude. Don't sit up there and try to get this shit a pass. It sounds dumb. Your enthusiasm looks stupid. I mean, if the story is gonna make sense, that's one thing. But like I said, you this like Hispanic dude that's geeked up about white superheroes made by white people. Like I said, if somebody was to present you a Hispanic dude that was on some real shit, the Hispanic guy, that he'll just be like, I don't want that. I want to talk about basically Dick Tracy in a black suit. I want to talk about him because this guy is my favorite dude. I don't care about the Hispanic guy that you made up. Even though I'm Hispanic, I don't want that. Or like with my cousin, like he likes South Park. Like they be damn near talking about pedophilia and all this other shit. But it's like I like South Park, but I don't like the Boondocks. I'm not saying that everybody should like every black person should like the Boondocks. But again, if somebody black made a black superhero, I mean, it would just be like, okay, this is some fresh shit. It's not this 80 something year old comic book story that's been chasing the same bad guy for 80 something years. Like, I lock you up and then you come out of the asylum, I put you back in, you get out, and it's the same shit over and over and over again. It's just like this. Like I said, this is a fresh shit. It's not old. That old shit is stale. Fuck them. This new shit, especially in the time that we're living in now, like, people want representation of themselves. You would think people would be on that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, nah, because I still like the Cape Crusader. Even even though you, my cousin that I know personally, made stronger dudes than the Cape Crusader and all these other dudes in anime and every comic book and every anime combined. But it's like, nah, because I still like dudes. Sorry, cousin. Sorry, black cousin. I like this white dude over here. The fuck? That's all I can say. Cause I have it in my head like that. Cause I seen my own cousin. His love for comic books is on another level. It may not be like these new dudes other level, but he's like OG level though. Like, he could tell you about who created issue like 21 and one of these nutsacks like companies, like the two biggest ones or some shit. It's shit like that. He's on that level. So I'm coming with my shit. It's like, yeah, that's nice, cuz, but I'm like, see, that's exactly my point. Is bullshit. I mean, even though some people, like I said, Blitz, some Hispanic people or Mexican people, whatever, would dig the dude. They be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is that dude. But it'll be like, I got like 80 something years to cover. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like, these comic books or whatever, like these companies, they're never gonna do any real shit because okay. Even still, they would never make Icon that dude, even though he has the same powers as their Golden Boy. Icon, like, I could name black superheroes. I mean, there's like, who was that? Blue Marvel. There's Icon, and this, but it's only like a very few. There's like this black chick. It's very few people in the shit that's like on par. But like I said, Icon is just as he's basically the black version. But he would never be their Golden Boy. He would never outbeat the Golden Boy. So it's like, fuck the Golden Boy. I'm the Diamond Boy. I'm Diamond Dick in this bitch. I'm the Platinum Boy with a Diamond Dick. So I'm like I said, so I just created my own shit. And see, that's exactly why I created my own shit. And then you hear mad people always trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to do this so I could get in Marvel. I'm trying to get in Marvel or DC or some shit. It's like, look, I'm not saying that you will never get in, but it's basically like trying to be in the NBA. There's only 1% that's gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I kept hearing in the convention. Number one. And so I'm just like, that's what I'm saying. So like, all these comic books, they're never gonna do any like real shit with staying power. So people can like have something to look up to. And then by the time this video catch on, anybody catches on to my shit, I would have already done it, or you see evidence of me doing it, and everybody would look at like the two biggest comic book companies, be like, "Oh, you stole that idea from him." But like I said, my whole idea was never to sell diversity in the first place. Like going back to my last, like one of my last videos, I did this in '99 where there was no YouTube and like all these little random nutsack voices and all this chatter about like, oh, diversity and we want representation. I was on that shit before the terminologies even popped up. Before people, it was just me. Like when I started, it was me. Then I passed the idea to two of my friends in high school, and then my main best friend, and then like that was it. That was the only ones that knew about it. Like besides my mom, those are the only people that knew about the shit. So nobody in these circles was saying nothing about, oh, we want to see representation. I was just like, you want to be in it, and they was like, yeah. And then I was like making the story for it. I was never like saying, like the only thing I was saying, like I've never seen a biracial superhero, so let me put that in there. But it wasn't like and it was just like, for me, I didn't see it. I wasn't saying like I wanted this, so like because the world needs to see this, or I need to represent people that are biracial or whatever the case is, or like a plus size superhero. It was just like, this is the shit I wanted to see, and this was just my thing that I wanted to see. Now whoever came by and was liking it, that's cool, but I wasn't doing it for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So and like I said, don't get me wrong, like I have like there's a lot of people in Truth 332. Like since like I have a white wife in the comic book, her parents are there and her uncle. So it's not like this is just everybody in the thing is black. I mean, there's Pi who's Asian, there's Blitz who's Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So, and then me and my wife have kids. Blitz and Pi, they have a son. So it was just like, it was just a diverse group. So you do have like damn near every representation ever, especially in the game. But again, it was never like, I was never creating this to sell anything. Like there's like an Arab looking dude in the game, and he's on paper one of like on paper he's like kind of one of the strongest dudes there, because he could turn into a guardian. Him and my wife's friend Minhit, who is African. She's the prince. She's one of the princesses. So then the Arab dude got a sister. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just everybody can get it. Like you will never see Marvel or DC or nobody else pull the shit I'm pulling. And if they do, they're never gonna be like that dude. Even though you could be like, okay, but the Arab dude, like he's not the main guy in the group, but he's that dude though. Like he basically got picked for that reason. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I basically this is what I do. I, for the most part, treat everybody like they're important. Like I said, even in the game, I take the first one, I take a major backseat. In the second one that I'm planning, like me and a couple other people got 25% of the story. Like every group, there's like 4 groups, and each group has 25% of the story. So you put them all together as 100. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying like, oh, because I created it, I'm obviously the leader. No. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, all the stuff is what I'm talking about. Is all the stuff is just is irritating. You know what I'm saying? And it just looks pathetic when you got like some dude like of another like ethnicity just hyping up these like old tired ass superheroes. It's just man, no, bro, it's trash. It's 100% trash. And then I just got a page from my man today. Like I said, he's taking a long time like working on it, but it's just like it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. If it was up to me, man, I would have come up with my shit today. Cause I'm just like, especially like I said, seeing what I'm seeing and being tired of the stuff. You know what I mean? And then it's just a whole thing. It's just a whole thing. And it's just a lot that I'm seeing now that's just kind of like, people talking about different shit, and I'm just like, you know what, y'all full of it too. Like that's gonna be another video for another day, but I'm just like, as of now, seeing what I'm seeing, I'm just like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but sometimes people just talking just to hear themselves talk. But anyway, man, I'm out of here, man. That's on some real shit. I'm just like I said, I'm just tired of hearing and seeing this shit. Like I'm seeing something right now, and nobody on this roof is anybody of color on some real shit. But whatever though, man. But like I said, when I come out, people just gonna know who started this shit for real, and anybody that comes after me copying, they just gonna be like, you copied all this from Bro Gito that made Black Dragon and Baby. And they just gonna look like some Johnny come lately ass dude. So I'm like I said, I'm out, man. Like I said, it's gonna be a reckoning, boy. And when I hit the streets, it's gonna be crazy. I'm out.